Hello, I am Rob Rom. I am going to be your professor for Math 412 this summer. I don't want to spend any class time going over preliminaries, so I'm going to make a video about it now. Let me share my screen and I can kind of go over some of the things with you. So there's going to be several things that are going on in this class. Let me go to the syllabus. So this is all on the Canvas page. And by the time you're watching this, you should have received an email from me with some information about this. As well as you should have been added to the Canvas course should have been published. Okay, so this is the course information. It meets Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 to 1:25. I know there are several of you who are in internships and jobs and various things like that. If that's you, that's fine. I'll be recording the lectures and posting them, but I just want you to be aware of several things. One, the exams are going to take place during the time of the class. There's basically going to be no exceptions to that. The only exceptions would be if you have accommodations from the disability services and that sort of thing. So I've given the exam dates below. I'll go over that in just a moment. So you got to get time off for that. There's essentially no exceptions unless you have disability accommodations. I have not set office hours yet. I'm not sure when they will be. Our classes are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll probably have some office hours on the off days and some office hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just something that I'm going to have to figure out a little bit later. And probably I'll ask the class what times work for y'all as well. Course description, this is just from the website, the catalog, nothing there. I don't know what I have there. Prereqs, Math 308. So at Texas A&M, a co-req and a prereq for Math 308 is Calc 3. So I'm assuming that you know Calc 3 and Math 308, which is differential equations. So that's going to come up throughout the semester. I've tried to give you information about things, and I'll go through that a little bit in a moment, about some of the background information that you'll specifically need. But you're going to need to know how to solve differential equations. You're going to need to know basic calculus. You're going to need to know Calc 3, all of the multidimensional calc stuff as well. Here is a list of learning outcomes. I'll let you read that on your own. Our textbook is Partial Differential Equations by Rustam Choksi. This is going to be our primary textbook, this right here. It's also available for free from the library, or not for free, it's included in your tuition, but you don't have to pay any extra for it. Though if you want to buy the copy, I don't think it's that expensive. I don't know, I got it for free. So this is the book that we're going to use. We're also going to supplement it with the book as supplement, I guess, when I say supplement, things that I might be using to prepare for class, by this book, Applied Partial Differential Equations. This is sort of a classic text that has been used for this class in the past. And then something that's quite a bit more advanced than anything that we're going to be doing is this book by Lawrence Evans. It's a graduate level book, but the first, I think, 2 or 3 chapters are somewhat relevant to what we're going to be doing. This you might also be able to find online. I don't know. I ordinarily wouldn't mention that, but I just happened to see it lying there, so I did. But these 2 top books are going to be the ones that we're mostly using information from, and really this is the main textbook for the class. All of the lecture notes are aligned to the sections in this book right here, and both the books go in completely different orders, so that's something to think about as well. Standard grade cutoffs. Obviously, this is what it is. I reserve the right to change these grade cutoffs in your favor. Of course, I'm not gonna, all of a sudden make a 92 an A or something like that, or make a 91 a B or something like that. These are at least what the grade cutoffs are going to be. If I need to adjust them, you adjust the grade cutoffs down some, to the student's advantage. I'll do that. Okay, so there are several different assignment categories. Exam 1, midterm 1 is 20%. Exam 2, midterm 2 is 20%. And then exam 3 is 30%. Essentially, you want to think of this in the following way. 2/3 of the exam are going to be the material that we've learned from the second midterm through the end of the class. And then the other third of it is going to be from exam 1 and exam 2. So it's basically kind of like exam 3 plus a little bit coming from exam 1 and exam 2. So sort of a cumulative final that is way more weighted to the last third of the class rather than the first 2/3 of the class. Homework is 15%. There's going to be 11 homework assignments. So it's a 10-week course, but it sort of spans over 11 different weeks. So there's going to be 11 homework assignments, including one assignment that is due the first day of class, May 31st. It's going to be due midnight on May 31st. It's just basically an introductory assignment. The whole point of the assignment is so that we can sort of get comfortable using Gradescope and all of these other things. So it's essentially going to be graded just for completion. So you'll get that in on Wednesday, and then from then on, every Wednesday, even weeks where there are tests, there will be homeworks. There's going to be 11 assignments, and like I say, the lowest one is going to be dropped. The pre-class assignment. Okay, so the pre-class assignment, what's happening here is there's going to be a quiz in Canvas pretty much before every class. So, for example, on Wednesday, there's one that's in there that you're gonna have to do before class on Wednesday. And then after class on Wednesday, I will post an assignment, and you'll have until we begin class on Friday to do it. And the point of these assignments is to get you thinking about the material that we're going to be talking about on Friday. I'll say, read this section in the book and then answer these questions. Now, this is a very low stakes assignment. It's going to be graded, but then and so you'll get an actual grade, but then what's going to happen is one of the TAs is going to go through, and basically if you have made an honest attempt at each question, you're going to get the full credit for that. The idea is that I just want to motivate you guys to look at the material, read the section before class. Don't have to spend a lot of time reading it before class because I'm going to be teaching it, but I want you guys to have seen the material before class. This is a very low stakes assignment. It should take tops 30 minutes per assignment, and is essentially just going to be 5 free percent points for your grade. And then there's going to be a discussion. There's going to be a weekly discussion. I'll say more about that when I show you the discussions, but there's going to be a weekly discussion. And in that discussion, you have to do 2 things. There's going to be 10 points. Again, there's 11 discussions. One of them will be dropped. You have to do 2 things. 1, make a top level comment. 2, respond to one of your classmates' comments. So eligible top level comments are anything that are related to the math through that week, or I'll even give a discussion prompt, anything related to the discussion prompt. So if you have a question about a homework problem, you can ask it there. That counts as a top level comment. If it's a legitimate question, not just something you have to actually, if you want to ask a homework question, you have to say which homework problem it is, and then you have to explain what you've done, and then we can help you along the way. I and other students can help you along the way. If you found something interesting outside of class, like if you've been reading some other resource and you found something interesting, you could comment there. Basically, any comment that relates to the math of the week is fine. And then respond to any of the comments, any of the top level comments. That's the other thing that you have to do. So you have to make a top level comment. You have to respond to a top level comment. The idea is that I want discussions to happen in this discussion forum. I want everybody to be involved. That's why I'm making it required. But really, I want this to be where you guys ask questions about homework. You can also email me, of course, but it's kind of better to put it in the discussion so everybody can see the answer. I want you to ask questions about homework, ask questions about the course in there. If you want to do a group meet, that's fine. I'm not going to be involved with it, so I can't endorse any of the answers, which I can in the discussions. And I'll try to keep a good eye on that. Though sometimes if you guys are answering overnight and over the weekend, I probably won't see that until regular business hours. Exams are in class and proctored via Zoom. We will talk more about that when exam times come, but you're going to need devices that that can record you while you're doing this. And again, we're proctoring it via Zoom. Homework, 11 homework assignments. One thing that I forgot to mention when I was talking about homework above, I will give you a LaTeX template. So what does that mean? So when we type up our math, we use a sort of, it's kind of a markup language, though I think it's somehow technically not a markup language, called LaTeX or LaTeX. People say it different ways. That's what this is, the LaTeX. And it's like a programming language with math stuff. I'm going to give you the templates. They're linked to in the assignments. Excuse me. If you type up your assignments, you'll get 2 bonus points. So it's all, if the assignments are out of 10 points, if you type it up, you get 2 bonus points. No matter how you turn it in, it's all going to be turned in on Gradescope, whether you decide to write it or type it. It has to be on the template I provided. You can't like just write it on paper like this and turn that in. You either have to type it or write it on a tablet or print it out and write it on that something. It has to be neat no matter what. Okay, pre-class assignment, I already talked about that. Here's a little more information about it. It's a short quiz in Canvas, low stakes in the sense that if you get the answers wrong, you're not going to have points counted off, at least in the end. It'll count off points when you turn it in, perhaps, and then the TA is going to go through and just increase everybody's grade. But we do reserve the right to give you 0 if you just put nonsense answers. If the question says find the eigenvalues of a particular matrix and you just draw a picture of a cat or some text equivalent of that, then you won't get any points for that. And then I mentioned discussions as well. So here's the weekly schedule. It's based on the first day of the week for that class. So for example, week 1, May 31st, that's the first week of class. June 5th, June 12th, so on and so forth. There's some of them like July 3rd, that might be Wednesday or something, I'm not sure. There's some of these where the dates here are not on a Monday. It's because we have a break or something. So I think maybe, yeah. So notice we have June 19th off for Juneteenth. And so June 21st is what we have there. That's not the first, that's not a Monday. That's a Wednesday because we have June 19th off. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about before. The rest of this is just kind of boilerplate stuff. I will mention something about AI. As with anything, the whole point, or not as with anything, but as with any math class, the whole point of doing homework is to get good at it. To get good at it, one, because if you're here to learn the material, hopefully you want to get good at it, and doing the homework will help you get good at it. But if you want just a more bare bones practical thing, it should help you with the exam. So I don't really like to talk in terms of that so much. But anyways, you're not going to have any AI or any materials on the exam except for your notes and your books, which is kind of a lot, but I don't know how helpful it'll be. Exams are open note and open book, but no other resources are allowed. So you can use your books, you can use your notes. Those are going to have to be, yeah, you can use your books, you can use your notes, but you can't use AI or anything like that. And again, I'll say more about that when the time comes, but you can't use AI to do the exams. For homeworks, I'm not really going to monitor that. Chat GPT can sometimes give good answers to these problems. It can sometimes give bad answers to these problems. But again, the whole point of doing the homework is to understand it more. If you're not doing the homework, then you're not understanding it more. This reminds me of at the gym sometimes, I will see what I like to call team bench press, which is one person benching and then a spotter is really taking up quite a bit of the load. The person doing bench press isn't getting the whole benefit of the workout. If you're using Chat GPT to do the problems, you're not getting the whole benefit of the assignment. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to the weekly modules, or to all of the modules. Let me give you the student view here so you can see more what it's going to look like. So this is what you look like, syllabus, all of this other stuff, just kind of boilerplate. Lecture notes, what's going to happen? I'm typing the lecture notes as we go along. These right now have the lecture notes through section 2.2. And again, the sections are all correspond to this book right here. So notice I've got 2.0, which really isn't in this book, but 2.1, this is a section in the book. 2.2, we'll get there in a moment. 2.2 is a section in the book. And then we're going to skip over 2.3. And so the next section here is going to be 2.4, but that's for the second week. And I will just continually upload these, update these as the semester goes along. So right now, these are the lecture notes that you need for the first week. And then I will upload this and save through the next section, so on and so forth. This is the week 1 module. There's homework 1 that's due 5/31 and homework 2 that's due 6/7. The reason that I have it in the week 1 module is because it is due in week 2, but it's based on week 1 material, similar with these things here. And I have the due dates off on the side there. So if I look at homework 1, here's what you'll look at when you go to homework 1. You will turn it in Math 412, the grade scope for Math 412. Here's what the assignment looks like. Okay, this is it right here. This is it, so on and so forth. And if you want to type it up in LaTeX, whoops, if you click on this, now for you, you'll have to copy it because I gave everybody view privilege, but not edit privilege. So you'll have to copy it and then open up in your own overleaf file if you want to type it up. I can help you a little with that in office hours if you want to, but I'm not going to do a whole lot of LaTeX tech support. I've given you the template. You can kind of see what you need to do there. When I taught a class last summer, it worked very well. Students typed up their homework once they got into Overleaf and figured it out. Most of you guys have been doing programming of some sort. LaTeX is a much easier programming language to learn, and I've given you templates and stuff like that to use as well, so you don't have to do some of that stuff. Discussions, again, this is the discussion. If you click on the discussion, you'll see what I'm asking. You can begin the discussions now if you want to. I think that's all. So if you go to Gradescope, this is going to take you to the Gradescope course. Everything is going to be turned in there. Okay, I think that is all of the preliminary information that I want to talk about. Class will begin at noon on May 31st, and I look forward to seeing you all then. If you have a question about anything at all, at any time in the course, you can either email me if it's a personal question or put it in the discussions. Like I said, I'll monitor those. But email or on the discussions, whatever, I probably will not respond if it's outside of business hours. So if you ask a question at midnight, I probably won't see it until the next day. If you ask a question on Friday night or Saturday or whenever, I probably won't see it until I get to work on Monday. Anyways, okay, that's all. Let me see if I can stop this.